this is Raul from MTG Basics, and today I'm joined by Freddy and Nate to discuss our thoughts on the EDH ban list. Apologies in advance that we don't have our cameras on for this video, mine literally broke mid-recording. As always, don't forget to leave your thoughts on the comment section down below and I'll make sure to engage with you there. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the conversation and we'll just jump right in. Alright, let's begin this conversation by talking about the EDH ban list. And I'll start with our Lord and Savior, Golos. This card should not be banned. This card is silly and he was punished for the sins of the casual players. I think the banning committee, like the reasoning was like, this commander is pretty much too easy and too build, and it kind of warps the format in the sense that everybody's that kind of starting off builds his commander to start off, which it's literally the stupidest reason to ban a commander, but I digress. So off the bat, I would unban this card. This is a mistake to be on this list. And I think this is actually the last card that was banned. I don't know if we've seen any bans since Golos, but I could be wrong.
Was Flash banned after Golos?
Flash was banned before Golos.
Okay.
So then, in September 2021, September 13, Golos was banned, and I think they unbanned like a 9 mana red card that was like Fire Emancipation. Yeah, thank you. So that's kind of my first one. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree with the Golos on banning.
I agree. I see their reasoning for it, but we have, there's just another commander that ends up taking its place. I don't even think it was really that high. And the flexibility that Golos gives you is, to build a deck, you can take it in a lot of different ways, but yeah, I see this as something that could be unbanned and it wouldn't harm the format at all.
Yeah. Any thoughts, Nate?
When I started playing Commander, Golos wasn't an issue. I never saw it. I didn't even actually see it until it was on Arena after the ban. I can see why it was banned, probably because, like you said, the casuals. In cedh, I don't see it being super extremely strong. I'm sure it had its place, but it costs 5, and then it's, 7 to activate?
It did give you Boseiju Shelters All, because you could use all the colorless mana and get Boseiju Shelters All and cast an uncounterable ad nauseam. That was its niche in cedh, because it gets any land.
Yeah, that's like, okay. I feel like...
Yeah, it's not terrible.
Yeah, it doesn't win the game, right?
Yeah.
No.
There's cards that are cheaper that can win you the game. I guess...
And I think we also...
Go ahead.
Oh, my bad. I think we also have to put into perspective, like you said, I think it was Golos and Hullbreach were banned at the same time, correct? They were on the same banning?
No, I think...
close.
Yeah, Hullbreacher got banned before. Golos was banned by itself, and it was actually... So, I have a tremendous bias with Golos. I used to build Golos before he got banned. Freddy had given me the card that I needed for my birthday by accident. And literally the birthday I finished Golos, he literally got banned the fucking following week. So I was the saltiest person in the world. Yeah, you gave me like a mana crypt by accident, one of those like mystery packs.
It's not by accident, man. I wanted you to get a mana crypt, but I cried a little when you pulled one out of the first pack. And I'm like, cool, I bought 4 of these, and I didn't get anything.
Yeah, I was like, wow, I think this card's expensive. Oh, you'll go right into Golos. It's colorless. Cats Golos for 2 less, for free, or 0. So, and there was actually quite a bit of an outreach when Golos got banned. And I was amongst them. I literally bought so much merc. I said like free Golos. I'm pretty sure for that Halloween I dressed as a ghost, and I just wore like Golos gear. So I was.
You did, yeah. Dead. That was like your commander back then. We made fun of you when it got banned because we knew how much it hurt you. Then you went on your commander crisis until you settled on Tim the Crown for 2 years.
Tim the Thrasius.
Tim the Thrasius, yes.
Yeah, no red.
No red, yeah. Get that away. So I guess I did that one. So yeah, I think this card got banned. I don't think it will get unbanned. I just doubt it, just based on the current mood of it. It's unlikely that it'll ever get banned. It kind of sucks because this card is just really fun and easy to play with, but it is what it is. I'll let you guys, throw a card that you guys don't think it's banned, or I can kind of keep going on some cards that I think don't belong to the ban list.
I chose 2. I'll go over my first choice.
Sure.
I chose Coalition Victory as one of them.
Victory. Loading. Okay.
So it's 3 in Wooburg. You win the game if you control a land of each basic type and a creature of each color. And I mean, obviously it's 5 color right off the gate. And those conditions, to me, just not really putting any thought into it, don't seem like they're super easily achievable. I mean, especially with we got Bowmasters now, so like if you're trying to get green mana dorks out or cheap 1/1s, they're just gonna get shot down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, I just feel like that one could probably, and it's a sorcery speed, so it's not like you can not see it coming.
Yeah, honestly, I 100% agree with this card. I think you need a creature. This needs to be a sorcery, and you need literally all, like 5 basic type lands, right? That's what you need, which is not easy.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can have the shocks and try lands and whatever, but you still need a creature, and then you still need to be able to cast this.
Yeah, the best way I can see you making use of this is having a 5-color commander like Tiamat.
Yeah.
And then there's also other things that have your lands be every basic land type.
Yep.
But we're already talking about specific, like 3-card combos. So I think this one's pretty good time ban.
Yeah, I think it's pretty safe. Go ahead, Freddie.
Okay, I actually have... they're kind of for the same reasons, but Gifts Ungiven and Tolarian Academy. Alright, so Gifts Ungiven is just a more expensive intuition that also lets you search up for 4 cards. And you get 2 in your hand and 2 in the grave, and you get a shuffle. Pretty much the same as intuition. You can argue if the 2 cards in your hand make that much more of a difference as opposed to the 1 card with intuition. And it's a mana cheaper, but I think they accomplish the same thing and the same reasoning why they're banned. And it just doesn't make sense why Gifts Ungiven is banned.
Yeah,
and the other one the other one is Tolarian Academy, just because Gaia's Cradle and Sarah's Sanctum are also in the format. I understand artifacts are a lot easier to generate and just kind of throw out, and blue mana is very important relative to other colors, especially when you're talking about competitive, but it seems like an odd exclusion to have Tolarian Academy and not the other ones. I think the other ones, if you're going to sway one way, is just to ban them, but...
Sure, just for consistency. I think a big theme of this list, I think it's just not very consistent, or they're very, like, I don't know. I guess consistent is not, it's the best I can describe it.
I agree with both of those.
Yeah. I guess I'll just say this, as I was trying to make the list, I kind of struggled to make it. Obviously, Golos was the first one I picked out. But honestly, anything that's 5 mana or more in this list, I think needs to be unbanned. Like, there is not a single card in this list that's 5 mana or more that I'm like, oh no, they cast this card. What am I ever going to do? And I think that comes from people not building their decks correctly or like being responsible with their decks. I think if someone's casting an Emrakul, I think they deserve to win the game. Not shot do they get to 15 mana. Obviously you can sneak attack it or show and tell it, but if you're losing to the strategy, it sounds to me like you need to be building some interaction for it. If you're losing to show and tell, potentially add counter magic. If you're losing to an enchantment, you should probably add some Nature's Claim effect. A lot of the 5 mana cost spells, I feel like can literally be answered with 1 mana or 2 mana cost spells that can interact. But go ahead, you had something to say.
Oh, I would say that there's a couple on here that I think just Gristlebrand would be one of contention as probably one of the main reanimation targets, and I think it changed a lot in the format.
I mean, yeah, you can reanimate this, you can reanimate any other creature that can win the game too, right? Okay, sure, you can reanimate this. You're losing, 7 mana and 7 life to reanimate, and then you're paying 7 life to draw cards. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like you can Pungify it, or Rapid Hybridization, or Suspend it, or Source of Plowshare, or there's a bunch of green spells that destroy creatures with flying,
Very true, but this one is instant speed.
Sure, but then they were going to kill themselves and then go to this card. I understand this card's really good. I'm not oh no, right? But if you're reanimated, there's a 2 mana double blue card called Counterspell.
Okay.
Force of Will.
What do you want to say?
Plowshare. I mean, there's all sorts of ways to deal with Gristlebrand.
Yeah, even a Curse Totem, right, or whatever. Activated abilities of creatures can be activated. I feel like, and I mean this like, I don't mean this to be like rude to like people that don't put interaction in their decks. Honestly, a lot of these cards, like, and I even chose 5 as a middle ground. In principle, I honestly think cards shouldn't be banned. Like, there are some that are really strong, but you can literally answer all of them if you have the correct interaction. Obviously, that's meaning like a Force of Will or like those kind of free spells. But like, a lot of these cards, like, they don't, like, you can literally answer like Prime Time, Primeval Titan. Like,
Yeah, that's another.
yeah, like, hello? Like, you can answer this in many ways. I think there was another one here. Prophet of the Crowfix. This seems like this Seaborn Muse on steroids, but it kind of does the same thing as Seaborn Muse, except it lets you play creatures spells with Flash, which obviously it's pretty strong. I'm not like the mini, but again, if you're scared of this card or cards like it sounds to me like you need a Source of Plowshare, Suspend, Pungify. Red Elemental Blast will kill this too. Like, I feel like a lot of these cards, and not to continue to beat on a dead horse here, can literally be answered with a couple cards. And there's cards that are in the format, like Thoracle and Demonic Consultation, that are cheaper, and I see those cards being stronger, and those are not bad. So obviously those are 2 cards, but you know, you're not playing one without the other if they're not in your hand. I don't know. Those are my thoughts. That's literally everything in the ban list. And there's like, I think 13 cards or 15 total that I would unban that are just fall under that criteria.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think about the
There's a bunch of
creatures?
silly ones on here, like Lutri. Why?
Yeah. Yeah, Lutri.
Lutri. Limited resources just sounds obnoxious, but it's not gonna ruin a game. I could see a Commander Karakas being banned just because.
Sure. No, this defeats the purpose of it, right? Like, bounce your commander. A commander every turn. That seems kind of silly. That's why I didn't mess with the lands too much. I didn't even think about Tolarian Academy when I was looking at my list, because I was like, okay, maybe the bans. Like, I can see the reasoning behind some of them, so definitely don't want to mess with them. And they're hard to interact with.
There's an elf on here that taps for green for every forest you control. Like, okay.
Relophos?
That's not a big deal.
Yeah,
It's the R.
Yeah, Rofellos, Llanowar, Emissary. It's a 2-1, so...
Yeah, there's a lot here.
Yeah, I don't know. It's shenanigans. There's a lot of cards on here that shouldn't be on here, or that, you know, should be in play. But there's also a lot more EDH players than there are cedh players.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we have to look at it at the lens of... I think they're more so counting on the fact that maybe in a casual match, because you're just playing your deck, there's going to be a lot less interaction. So it seems like a lot of these creatures that are banned will run away if they're not interacted with, and I guess they're assuming
yeah, like
they're
people
really
don't,
not going to be.
Yeah, people don't put interaction to their decks, and I think that's fine. But then I think if you're doing that, I think people do a lot of Rule Zero conversations, or they should be doing Rule Zero conversations before games. And honestly, like, you should just hash them out with players. Like, you shouldn't really, like, I guess, I know it's very difficult, but you should have like a cedh ban list, and then let the casual players kind of hash out what they want to see or don't want to see. I think that's easier to control, like, less rando. Obviously, I guess it gets murky when you're like an FNM, and like people just have one deck and then people don't want to play against them one deck. So like, I can see that perspective of it, but it's so much like, I don't know. Like, I feel like we're just being limited by people not like deck building responsibility.
Agreed. Where they just kind of meddle, and I can see some cards making sense for cedh and EDH.
Yeah.
But yeah, they don't really mix too well with one another.
Yeah, so I guess I'll go quickly through the list of like the cards that I was like that fit my criteria of like 5 mana or more. Just put them in the screen real quickly. Mm-hmm. Biorhythm, unban it.
Agreed.
What else? Collision Victory, we talked about again. I'm only doing 5 mana less. Oh, again, by principle, I would unban everything, but just to be mid the casual players halfway. Collision Victory, Emrakul, I would unban. Golos, Griselbrand, Iona. Honestly, this card does not belong in this list. Like, if you cannot deal with an Iona, then I don't know what to tell you.
I think it is just if you're mono for feel bad.
Okay, Back to Basics exists. Blood Moon exists. Anyways, also you can suspend it, Source of Plowshare it. The Tail's gonna want to kill it. So none of these cards should be banned. Panoptic Miro, unban it. Paradox Engine, really strong card. This is a really strong card, but I would still unban it just to be consistent. Primeval Titan, unban it. Prophet Crufix, unban it. Let's see what else. Sway of the Stars, unban it. This is just a meme card. Thundering Titan, unban it. And Sylvan Primordial, unban it. Upheaval, it's literally just a meme card. Like, this is just annoying to face, and I think that's why they got rid of it. But if that's the case, then why don't you get rid of Armageddon? And War Wipes decks. And then Jack Moff's Bargain, unban it.
I don't know if from a cEDH perspective, I think I'd want to keep that one unbanned.
You think so?
Yes, because it's like Necropotence, but you get the cards now, so you just kind of win.
It's 6
I
mana.
understand it's 6.
It's 6 mana.
It's 6 black. That's a Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual. There you go.
Sounds like you need blue in your deck if you're scared of this card.
I mean, I agree, man, but if it's turn 1, you get 7 cards. At most. 8, actually. At most.
Yeah.
A lot of the times. It's hard to find it.
I'm not saying this card is not like weak. I'm sure like this is strong, but I feel like it falls under like the cEDH. Like, you kind of, you sign up to what you get, right? Like, if you don't put interaction that can deal with this in the stack, then fucked. You're losing to mono black because they have this card, then I don't know what to tell you.
Well,
that's just my thought.
I don't know. We might take it in a different direction, but Nate, actually, I was wondering, things that aren't on the ban list, what would you want to see banned? What's something that you think is just like, man, I'm tired of this?
I don't think there's anything.
Okay.
I like everything that's happening right now. Sure, there's some things that are obnoxious, but
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a hard stance on it, but if you were to add something to the ban list, because it seems like we have a pretty good, like, we're all on the same thing, like Chaos Orb and everything obviously needs to be banned, but outside of, like, I don't think anyone here is arguing for Time Vault, right? Something like that.
No.
Alright, so...
yeah, I know, I can't, yeah, there's nothing that I would ban right now. I think our format is pretty healthy. I mean, yeah, Thoughts of Oracle and Demonic Consultation is obnoxious to lose to, but it's not stopping me from playing it.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of part of the format, and sometimes you lose to it, and sometimes I've been stuck with that combo many times because it's also like it's somewhat fragile as well, right?
Yeah, and if it wasn't Oracle, it would be Jace or Labman.
Yeah. So, I'm also in the same boat as Nate. I think I would only maybe ban Najila. Just kidding.
Yeah, that's my card.
But I honestly wouldn't ban anything. I think the state. I think more variation is better. More like variety is better. So like I think it would provide for better and different kind of decks, and never just winning through the Oracle combo. What about you?
I just think White has a lot of bullshit that kind of falls in line with this casual stuff. Like, if we can't draw, why the fuck, for casuals, are we not banning Dranith Magistrate?
Sure.
Dranith Magistrate says you can draw all the cards you want.
Well, no, but I'm saying, like... Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, like, if
defeats the purpose of the game.
Yeah, and it feels like Iona is on this list for something similar. I understand well, actually, I don't even understand. I think it's fucking 8 mana, and Dranith is 2. I get turn 1 Dranith, and I don't get to play the game ever in some games. So, like, that's what I was thinking about, where there's some cards that aren't banned right now, and I'm not saying get rid of them, but that kind of fit within this mold that, like, slip through the cracks. And Dranith Magistrate seems like it is one of those cards that, especially from a casual sense, it's like, oh, I'm ramping up for my big fucking splashy thing, and you can interact with it the same way you could with Iona, but it's not on here. So
yeah, I think the big fault to this list is it's not consistent. That's why I think it might just be best for them to like give the power back to the players essentially that are casuals, and they can hash it out between their play groups. And I know that's not a perfect solution, but at least it's better than like this like inconsistent list.
There is actually a non-ban meta that is played amongst a good amount of people in the community, where everything is no ban cEDH.
I mean, we're gonna do that on our gameplays here pretty soon. Just do fingers up to the ban committee when I play Golos.
Nice, yeah. It's pretty much everyone's just trying to get to Time Vault Voteki. That's the most efficient way to win so far in the format.
Sure. Cool. I guess any closing thoughts on this? This was pretty quickly. I think we're all kind of on the same page. No big argument here.
I got nothing. I think it's good now. Sure, there's things that could be unbanned, but whatever. And I wouldn't add to it.
Yeah, I think the list just changes based on your perspective, whether you're taking it from a casual's perspective and you want to play your deck and really enjoy it, or you're playing to win. You'll find different inclusions for each, so it's a little weird, but overall pretty good.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks guys for joining us, and thank you for the audience for watching us. If you have any comments or feedback, or if you're completely out of touch, if you're somewhat casual player, you're like, no, this card needs to stay in the ban list for X, Y, and Z reasons, please let us know. I'll be happy to engage with you in the comments. As I think hopefully mentioned earlier, this will be hopefully our last podcast in this kind of setting. We're working hard to make it a little bit better, to improve on it. So, stay tuned for a little updates or upgrades on it. But with that, thanks everybody for watching. Have a wonderful day and stay basic.
Yeah, keep it basic.
Laters.